After the party. Let's just say we are going to be doing some unpacking. So, uh, and we might, all of us, since all of us are probably the same generation, we might have the same views or opinions on different things. And I just wanted to share this with y'all. So we're going to be doing some unpacking together. As I put this video up, I wanted to ask you ladies things older black people are not ready to hear.
I would say that that is the times have changed. It is at this point being miserable and forcing your kids to stay in a company that they're miserable at is a thing of the past. That whole like at this point, grow up, enter into the realm of where everybody else is already at, and go on about your business. And it's not too late to switch careers. Oh, and another thing. See, first of all, y'all set the bar a little bit way too high for the amount of stuff that y'all allowed or the amount of stuff y'all gave up to raise y'all kids. And now y'all expecting us, pay it forward at y'all old age. But I ain't got it. I ain't got it. I'm preparing myself for my senior age so I can live comfortably. I don't know why you chose to not follow your dreams, but I ain't got it.
You know, it's funny. I went the more political approach that we shouldn't be just voting Democrat just because. And not that I want people to vote Republican either, but I feel like we should just be voting for people that are you know going to do for us. There's no reason the Democrats should already have our votes, and they're not doing shit for us. So I feel like we should be voting for the right person instead of just voting just because. Also, the views on guns. I realize that a lot of older black people they're not big on guns because they feel like guns are dangerous, which they are. Not dumb, but as long as you have the proper training and use protection, and like they're not going anywhere for a while, like black people need to arm themselves. There's no reason that we should arm ourselves to defend ourselves, not to to be using it irresponsibly. Y'all was good too. Father done into the chat. How's it going, Father?
Hello, my beautiful black people.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you the
Wait,
same thing
wait,
I asked
wait,
these
wait,
other.
wait, wait. I was gonna
Yes.
add something to the one you said about just not voting Democrat, like not just. Also, they should stop emotionally voting. A lot of older people vote based off emotion and not really facts. Well, they don't really care for the fact. Like it's not where they say the new generation is always why, and the old generation is like they'll figure it out later. So they tend to vote emotionally, and then it's like, that don't work out.
Oh yeah, you know what reminds me of? I don't know. You seen that video when I think it was when Biden first got president, and then the kid he just voted for independent or something, but he didn't vote for Trump, but he didn't vote for Biden either, and the mom was cursing him out in the car. You ever see that video?
I told you to do Biden. Now we done lost a damn vote. We done lost a vote. That's gonna go to Trump. God damn. I'm worshiping these people like they're God. Ain't nobody worshiping them. But God damn it, Chris, we need somebody in there with sense. He vote independent. Why would you do that? You know what I said do when you go in there. You go. That's what I did. No, you did. You go in there. This shit funny. I told you. I said go Democrat Biden. Now there's a fucking vote that we done lost that can go to Trump. This is why I don't do politics. I will never do this again. He said he ain't gonna vote again.
Yep.
That was that because he was like, I ain't voting no more. He's like, damn that. Father, I'm gonna ask you the same question. I asked these ladies. What are things older black people are not ready to hear?
that they've been disillusioned by the American dream. Y'all motherfuckers were bamboozled. Y'all niggas were duped. This ain't it.
I just laugh at that.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, nah, because you research the history of how Black people have been moving, and in America there is integration. We could see that in Africa. Look at South Africa, for example. They ended apartheid and they became the Rainbow Nation, right? They still haven't really fixed their racial issue either. So we've been duped.
We've been stopping.
But I'm telling you, Africa really done turned around and reverse slavery.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They're apartheid because they got them white folks struggling.
They kicked the French the fuck out.
Them white folks living in tents, struggling. I was like, wow.
If I'm correct, Haiti's got a little revolution going themselves, right?
They have a revolution.
With DR, yeah.
They live in battle. Like function in battle, live in battle. Between fighting and surviving, that's all they know.
All right. Without further ado, like I said, we're gonna be doing a lot of unpacking. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
I'm not ready to talk about it. So let's just jump into this video, okay?
Stitch this and name something that Black people, especially older Black people, are not ready to hear. I'll go first. Integration was trash, and we should have followed Malcolm versus Martin.
What y'all think about that take?
Why she came in that hard?
The same thing I said. Shout out.
No. The way you said, no, you was light with it. You said, the American dream was false hope, but she said integration is trash. We should have goddamn fight. We should have killed. We should have went gun blazing. I was like, ooh, come out.
It starts there. It gets a little harder.
If that's the start, I know it can only get worse. You supposed to start light. They came in kicking. Could have said the first video, I'm gonna make sure y'all know my stand.
Oh yeah, all right.
If y'all allow us to do what Africa did to the white folks, just know the time will come. Obama was the little, how they have like that first Black person that's safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think, okay, the next one ain't gonna be that bad. The next one is still a little bit safe, but it get a little risky. By that third one, it's a wrap.
They put a nigga in there. Go ahead.
That third, he gonna really put things up. He gonna be worse than Trump.
I think the only reason that the woman is saying that the integration was trash is because whoever was there before her in her lineage didn't know what the fuck to do with what they got the information from. What they should have done, follow Malcolm, but also move like the news, if you know what I mean. For instance, they took the information that was given to them and taught it to their own culture and ethnicity. And then they built their own schools. And then they made it hard for other cultures and other ethnicities to integrate into the school that they built the foundation on based off of integrating in the first place. I think a lot of times we as African Americans see all of the things that other cultures are getting based off of their complexion and what they identify as, but they stick together and they utilize the foundation to make sure that other cultures can't integrate, and they teach the real history. They don't have the government choosing what to teach their children. So I think that integration was good, but we should have utilized it for our own culture and to make sure that our children is not learning things that was transformed and tweaked by the Chinese when they sent books over here based on American history.
Name something that Black people, especially older Black people, are not ready to hear.
I got 8 things for you, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out your way. Number one, use us as children, and we are all recovering from our childhood. Number 2, white Jesus. Let him go. Number 3, pedophiles that exist with things that you all don't want us to talk about because you don't want the family to look bad. Stop protecting them. Number 4, stop teaching our young girls this idea of struggle love that they have to accept the bare minimum in relationships.
Preach, brother.
Number 5, stop teaching our young boys that it's not okay to cry and or show emotion, that toxic masculinity has been passed down through far too many generations.
Okay.
Number 6, the homophobia in our community is based largely in part to the older generation and their religious beliefs that have long since been debunked. Number 7, stop gaslighting the younger people in your community and or in your family just because you're older and you think you deserve respect just because you're old. And some of y'all are mad disrespectful. And last
Preach,
but not
brother.
least, therapy. Stop telling us not to go get therapy. Stop telling us what happens in this house stays in this house. I'm done.
Oh, Lord.
I told you, B. It gets like I said, we're gonna be unpacking. What y'all think?
I'm 50-50 on what he said.
I'm
50-50. Interesting.
50-50. What's the 50-50 about?
There's some things like I understand. Okay, we shouldn't, have our young sons thinking or guys thinking like, oh, it hurts to cry. But at some point, at this point, I'm about over these emotional guys. I'm physically, mentally drained with emotional guys. Like I am. This point, stop crying. Like hold it in. Keep it to yourself. Don't even let it out. We do not care. I don't even know you don't want to be a soldier no more. Keep that to yourself and continue to play the role.
Okay, because when I always said that, it's like, okay, you can show guys when it comes to emotion. I feel like before B went on his rant, it's like, why do you want men to cry or something like that? It's just like, but I also believe there's a time and place. It's just like something I understand. Like there's times you really do want to let it out, and sometimes, and like me and Father had this conversation. Like, I personally don't have a problem with the term "man up," but there's a time and place where you should probably use the word "man up." You shouldn't be using it for everything. Like if your mama died, of course you're going to cry, but you ain't going to tell that man to man up then if his mama died. But some things you do have to like man up and get through. And like that crying ain't just gonna stop it. Sometimes you gotta get through it. But I also feel like as black men, we do need spaces to relax, let our emotions go, at least have our spaces where we could talk our emotions out and just feel better about ourselves and get through the day. It's just like I feel that's my whole spill on that. It's just like we could if there's a place where we can be emotional and not be judgmental, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, there is a place where you can be emotional and not be judgmental in private. It's definitely there. In private, in your bathroom, in your room, to yourself. But when you openly, who's laughing? I'm trying to be serious.
I know you're serious. She's like in the bathroom. She's like in this little ass box. Go.
But when you openly cry out in public, it's one or two things that happen. Now somebody feels obligated to try and console you, and especially if they're not mentally prepared for that. So now they feel like they're struggling, they're exhausted. You drain them out because they got their own stuff. That's why I was like, you can always seek therapy. Therapy, to be honest, therapy is kind of free, depending on where you go to get it. It is definitely kind of free. So you just got to be willing to find it. Because there is a lot of free therapy that the government will pay for your therapy and everything. Not even in regards to financial spending or whatever. It's just therapy can be free. So that's why I'm like, there's outlets for this thing now. Back then, we just didn't know we could get therapy. Black people didn't know therapy existed. We didn't know there was somebody you could talk to that can help you unpack all of this other than your family, because your family ain't going to help you unpack anything. To be honest, they're gonna make it worse. They ain't gonna apologize because whatever they did, however they felt at that time, was how they felt, and they're gonna stand on it 1,001. That you might be lucky if you get a sorry. You might be lucky, but 100% of the time, they're gonna tell you they just didn't know better back then.
Mama, I'm depressed. Go to press them damn dishes.
They're just gonna tell you they didn't know better back then. So a lot of stuff that they did, they thought they was doing it for your well-being. At the time, they thought it was your well-being. But as we grow up and we start reading and we start understanding our emotions, we realize, hell no, that wasn't our well-being. That was draining our soul. But we moved along, we grew, and a lot of us was raised on anxiety, still have anxiety, don't even know how to function, like, to maneuver through it. But, at the end of the day, we ain't had no choice but to continue to move on and act like it don't exist. Some of us have memories that was so traumatic that y'all probably like suppressed it and don't even realize it's there. Like, I understand female, even sometimes when female be emotionally crying, I'll just be like, why? Now I feel bad because now I have to like hug you and like rub your back and everything else. And I'm just like, I don't, and then give you some like sob story or something to cheer you up. It takes a lot of energy out of people. I'm sorry. And I know we want safe spaces, but sometimes the safe space is in your bathroom by yourself. And if it's not working, then you can seek a therapist, professional help. And if that doesn't work and you feel like the only way you can survive is to emotionally cry in public, I'm telling you, you can go to the bus station in the middle of the subway and just let it out. And I swear to God, you're going to have 20 people console you. Am I lying?
Not in New York, though.
I
Because
didn't say how they was going to console you. I just said you're going to find 20 people. Now, if they rob you, I bet you stop crying then. You ain't going to be crying about that.
I don't know, because there was this one dude. I was on my way to work this one time, riding the metro, and this is probably not the best place for this dude to be doing it. Swear to God, dude came on the metro train and was just yelling, "Ah!" Ah! Just randomly. Ain't nobody look at him. Everybody just mind their business. Then they could yell that way for like, I swear to God, 20 minutes straight until I got off and went to work. I was like,
oh, that is hilarious. I was just saying some shit to be saying some stuff, but I guess it really does work.
I don't know, but all I know is just like, I ain't got time for this. I'm about to go to work.
Let me say this. I do think that it is important that people really invest in their emotional health and how to process their emotions in a healthy way. Solitude is a great way to do it, as Material Life mentioned earlier. But I think what the real issue is not only just that there are no safe spaces or anything like that, but there are a lot of trials and tribulations along anybody's path. And sometimes that shit will wear down on you. We all know that life it's a phenomenon where that shit will, like, you will fall 10,000 times trying to get what you want, but it only take that one time to succeed. You feel what I'm saying? And people are really going through it. I feel like, with the culmination of everything that we have been through as a generation, you feel what I'm saying? Like back to back to back to back, mind you. There's going to be a lot of men that's going to, fucking fall under the cracks and not know how to properly deal with that level of emotion that they are socialized to bottle up. And it's a multi-layered conversation. You feel what I'm saying? There's like a lot of shit that actually like goes into the phenomenon of especially what happened to black men. But when you get into the generalities of it, you start to see the same pattern manifest itself. Like New York, Miami, New Orleans, like you can see the patterns, Chicago, like the Compton, especially back in like the late 80s and early 90s, like and then they took that and then it became a culture. So now people really look at us like that's everything that we represent. But we all know we're not that way. We're very diverse. You know what I'm saying? We're not a monolith, but that never gets the highlight. So it's all in all just to say that, like, yeah, it is up to you as an individual to fucking take care of your mental health, of your emotional health, and really invest in ways to ensure that you are in control of your emotions. Because as a man, if you are in controlling your emotions, I swear to God, it's like the cheat code. You feel what I'm saying? Ray, you remember that video we was watching about the traditional versus 50-50, man? And he was
Yes,
sitting
sir.
there talking about, oh, I'm going to give you the cheat code. And then the cheat code never came. It was just, he was talking down on him. But the real cheat code is mastering your fucking emotions as a man. That is the fucking cheat code. If you can do that, like, if you can get to a point where you can process your emotions, you can know how to, you know, communicate with yourself in a way to like understand that emotion, you can just feel it and then move on. But you have to be again, you have to be in solitude with yourself. You have to know yourself like from the soul level in order to get that, and that takes commitment, that takes investment to self.
I totally agree with everything that you guys are saying here on the
I
podcast.
100% agree. That was a nice method.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I want y'all to pay attention to the energy depression hubs. The depression hubs are located in all the major cities: New York, Chicago, Miami. If you were to really see the connection of depression and the men with the highest suicide rates, you'll see a fucking pattern. Unfortunately, we have mothers that raise these boy children that I've been saying for a long time that they think their child is moldable. They don't let them just fucking be. And it's not their job to raise a boy into a man, but it is their job to install, how to put it, how to figure out who's for them and who's not. A lot of these men do not get to vent to their own family members. If they do vent, that family member feels like they're helping them and they're hindering them. They're judging them for even having whatever issues that they have, and it's spread like wildfire. It's no fucking reason if a boy child goes to their mom that the mom should be telling somebody all the way in the Caribbean of what the fucking son said. It's nobody's business. But that's another story. Also, when these men find their manhood, they find it in their underpants. And because of that, unfortunately, they go from woman to woman finding some kind of relief, some kind of venting tactic, which really destroys them on a spiritual and physical level because they depend their manhood on how many girls they can get. And these girls, sometimes they let out and vent to them thinking that they're the one, but they do not know how to figure out what deceit is and who's there for them. That's why they need to stick with one person so you can find out their pattern and to see if they are really there for you. So when you vent, you do not have to hide who the fuck you are. You can say whatever without the person manipulating feelings just to feel like they have a Build-A-Bear man. So they're going to tell you anything that they want. We need tactics to make sure that the men that really need to get out from, corporate America can go on trips and places that have not much of a city life, such as the Caribbean. There's places in Africa that if they spent some time there, they would have a sense of belonging. They may have a sense of, hey, I got this, and I'm in this situation, and what I have back home is really not that bad situation, or I miss my family. Whatever they've done to me is really not that bad compared to what I might be going through out here. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that the Caribbean have less than, but I've figured out that when people do not have this depression hub of a city life, they are more likely to make logical, decisions of what makes them happy and what makes them sad. What they think makes them sad is just a facade, if you know what I mean. We have a society that gets off on people having a harder time than them. And the people that are targeted, unfortunately, it is a gender thing, and it's the men. The men are targeted. You can see it in the laws. You can see it on how hard they work. They literally sell their soul in exchange to make the woman happy. And I'm not saying this is all circumstances, but where is the laws that really support mental health for the man?